Now, rather than just drawing what I think a feather looks like, I'm going to actually look up images of feathers and use those as references when I'm drawing my character. I'll also, like I said, usually do a bunch of drawings of the types of things that'll be used in my design so that I can get used to drawing those types of objects. So what I'll usually do is I'll get some images offline and I'll bring them into Photoshop, and then right next to them I'm just going to copy them by drawing them. This way I get a really good understanding of what a feather looks like and how it works. The way I get an image into Photoshop is by right-clicking on the image, I copy the image, then I come back into Photoshop, and then going Control V, which is paste, and on a Mac it's going to be Command V. Then I'm going to shrink down my image by going Control T or Command T on a Mac, and then you're going to grab the corner and shrink him down. Whoops. Hold down Shift while you do this. That way it keeps the image in proportion. That's good. Now the reason why I have a raccoon here is because I think I'm going to have some fur on my character also. And so I want to study what fur looks like and try drawing it. So let's start with a feather. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here. And what I want to do is I just want to copy this feather right here and try to recreate it and maybe make it look a little bit better. But I want to recreate that feather so that way when I'm drawing my feathers, I know that this is actually what a feather looks like. So that way I can distort it or change it and make it look more to my style, but it'll still look like a feather because I know the components that make up a feather. So I'm just going to grab a brush, shrink my brush size down. Now, this doesn't really matter what kind of brush you use. Also, if you don't have a drawing tablet, you can definitely do this with paper and pencil. So I'm just going to select this little brush right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and start drawing the feather. So we kind of have, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying to get those shapes down. So we have the center piece. It's kind of like a stick. Then I might just kind of block out the basic shape of the feather. But you'll notice that there are little pieces that kind of divot in. So I'm going to add those in. Sometimes we get these little curly things that come out. And then sometimes we get ones that go in, like so. And you'll notice as we get to the end, it gets a little fluffy. And you'll also notice on other feathers, it gets pretty fluffy. So I'm going to kind of almost make it look like fur down towards the bottom. Like that. Alright. Then I'll finish up this side. Then I'm going to bring this piece out a little bit more. Like so. And I don't really like the size of the fuzziness on this side, so I'm going to go ahead and erase it. Bring that out a little bit more. Okay. So now, if we have a look at the feather, you'll also see there's kind of lines going like this. Because with a feather, each piece of the feather is an individual little strand with other little pieces sticking off of it that make it stick together, kind of like Velcro. And so we want to add that in there. Now with this, I'm just kind of suggesting the lines and where they're going. Again, remember, this doesn't have to be perfect. This isn't a final piece of artwork. This is just for you and your knowledge. Alright, let's move on to the fur. So if we have a look at the fur, it's pretty simple. Now, it's obviously not just like spiky, but it's just kind of a series of lines going off into somewhat of the same direction. there's a bit of variation. So we want to make sure that it's not just a bunch of lines going like that, just straight. But from what I can see, this is basically what the fur looks like. And then there might be another level of fur. Now, drawing fur isn't like painting fur. They're kind of two different processes. But what we're doing here is we're just drawing it, because by drawing it, we really have to look at it and study it and understand what it is and how it works. And that's the importance of using reference, is you really need to gain an understanding of what it is that you're designing and creating. This will make your work immensely better. Thank you for watching this lecture, and I really hope it was helpful.